85% of students in South Africa spend more than 4 hours a day using social media. And about 60% of adults in South Africa spend about 4 to 8 hours on social media per day. Nomi, what do you think about these statistics?
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. People have time, ne? I feel like people have time. Why? What are you getting while you are busy on social media for 4 hours? Unless otherwise, if you are using it productively. Maybe talking about using it productively, maybe you are studying because now there's a lot of e-learning happening, and maybe you are researching for some jobs. You said students, right? Or just people in general?
Students spend about 85%. Yeah, about 85% of students spend 4 hours a day or more on social media, while adults spend about 60% of adults spend more than 4 hours a day on social media.
Oh, okay. So I'm still on the right path. So it's either maybe you are studying via e-learning, via videos and stuff like that, or maybe you are researching for some jobs, or maybe you are working because you can still work digitally. So if you are not doing that and you're just wasting your time on the net for 4 hours, guys, 4 hours is a lot of time. Remember, how many hours do we have a day? 24 hours. That means almost the quarter of the day for you is out. And you still need to get enough rest. And you still need to do other things. Or maybe they're unemployed. Or maybe they don't have, or they're not motivated to be studying.
Not necessarily unemployed, because obviously if 60% of adults are also on social media, unemployment rate's not 60%. So even employed individuals are spending a high amount of time on social media. Probably a lot of people spending time on social media at work, or even the moment they get home, instead of maybe, having lunch with friends, they just end up just going into the room and just scrolling on their phone. And this is actually a pattern that a lot of people are noticing too, is even parents nowadays are spending more time on their phones than the actual amount of time that they speak to their own children. I was even researching the other day where I heard about a statistic where children are spending more hours on social media than they talk to their parents per day. It was calculated by some study where they found out that children talk to their parents for about 1.2 hours a day, whereas they'll spend time on social media for 5 hours a day, which shows the huge difference between how children are being raised and influenced.
Yes, talking about raising children, probably children learned that from their parents. Who does that? Because as a parent, you need to take charge and stop your children from not socializing. What kind of a child is your children going? Are they going to be if they are antisocial and the only thing that they know is to hold a phone and be chatting? So I feel like maybe it's because people are not so progress orientated. Hence, most people, they like working under pressure, I believe so. And then maybe the other thing I feel, maybe it's because procrastination.
Yeah, true. I think that's the biggest one. I think especially among students, where 85% of them are spending more than 4 hours a day on social media. Obviously, students have things to do, which is study and prepare for lecture. And usually when students aren't studying or preparing for lecture and they're not busy with anything else, usually what are they doing? They're scrolling on their phones, which is a huge waste of time, in my opinion. And I don't necessarily think that social media as a whole is bad. I don't even think that using social media is itself a bad thing. I think it's also how you use it. I even remember a study was conducted where they said that if you just spend about 90 minutes or less per day, that's a healthy enough amount of social media time to where you maintain being in the digital world while also still having a healthy amount in the real world as well.
You know what I've learned, Ethan, generally in life is it's not what you do, but how you do it. Hence, you just said right now that being on social media, it's not so bad, but how are you using that social media? Are you letting it consume you? Are you letting it take more of your time? Is it going to be beneficial for you? Or you just go there? Some people, they also have schedules on how to use social media, and they also get to schedule maybe their Wi-Fi in the house or their routers to switch off. Especially other people, they don't sleep throughout the night. When you think but if you set up your router or a Wi-Fi at home to switch off maybe at 10, let's say for instance, and then when it's off, it's gonna turn on again when the next day. So it's not about what, but how. you do it.
Yeah, I think that's also an amazing addition because the fact that I also remember when I was younger, at home we used to have like Wi-Fi that would only turn on around certain hours and would usually even be in the evening, kind of like midnight data, but like for Wi-Fi. So like I think it would switch on around like I think 9 o'clock in the evening, then switch off at 6 in the morning. So it's like then I think that's good enough to whereas now your whole morning and afternoon won't be spent you necessarily wasting time on social media. Whereas like you'll actually be using the morning and afternoon to actually be productive, in engaging like tasks like socializing or being at school. So I think that's also one of the best things. And funny enough, like I used to hate the fact that the Wi-Fi used to work like that. But like looking back, it's actually much better than it is having 24-hour Wi-Fi because now 24-hour Wi-Fi allows you to get more distracted and more out of touch with reality itself.
Yeah, I think it's because now you really understand how it works and you are also going to be in control of how to use the digital world. Rather than, when you grow up, you don't even understand when they switch it off. You're like, why are they switching it off? How am I going to connect with my people?
Exactly. And no one ever teaches you how to use social media properly. It's kind of like this thing to where our parents or we ourselves as adults just end up buying ourselves a phone and downloading these apps. But then we never necessarily know, like, oh, this is the amount of time you're supposed to spend here, or this is the amount of time you're supposed to spend here. Because let's be honest, before I ever learned about the statistic about 90 minutes, I didn't know that there was actually like a certain amount of minutes that you're supposed to spend on social media. And I assume you also didn't know the same.
I also don't know. I just learned from you right now.
Exactly.
Imagine something new every day.
Exactly.
But you know what's the thing? With me, because I'm a communication practitioner, I've learned to use a social media. Like I mentioned earlier on, it's either whether I'm reading, because as much as I love reading a book like this, but it's easier and quicker here because I can't be going out to the library and getting the book. But here it's either I'm reading or I go for something specific. And also, as a business person, I go and check also my competitors. How do they do things? Which is something that I want us to talk about right now. To automate, automize. I don't know if I'm saying it right this week, but to automize your business. Like you get to have like an online assistant who's answering your calls or your voice messages or even the text messages. Also to integrate your socials. You see, that's also AI. It's assisting us the digital world to integrate your socials, whereby you can integrate Facebook, you integrate Instagram, TikTok, why is it easy? It's easy because now when you get to post on Instagram and you integrated them, your post is going to go to all of them all at once. Yes. So it's saving you what? Time. So I usually go for such things when I go online, which is one of the positive ways of using the digital world that I can share with our audience.
I think it sounds good in theory, but then again, when it comes to, let's say now having online assistants, what does that mean about people who are, working in that field of trying to be, telemarketers and people that are working around things of that nature? What does it mean for them when it comes to being employed and stuff like that? Because I don't necessarily have a problem with having artificial intelligence integrated into the workforce, but I still think that, like in the previous episode, you said that human touch is still needed. So for example, maybe sometimes someone will be on a phone call, then the person will tell the artificial intelligence model something, and then it's just not clicking. Whereas like now the model just keeps repeating something, then now the client gets annoyed. Whereas like I think sometimes if let's say the model doesn't understand what you're doing, it can actually then redirect and give you an actual person, then they'll be able to help.
Some companies are actually doing that because you're not directly talking to them over the phone, but they automized their email, their text on WhatsApp and stuff like that. But there's that option at the bottom that asks you if you are not satisfied with this because this is a robot communicating with you, you can request for a human agent. So some companies are doing that. But I feel like, again, it depends on the level that you are when you're using this online media thingy. Because what I've learned is some people, they automate these things, but they don't go back and check. They don't go back and check. You have that AI assistant that is answering your calls, or maybe when it goes to voicemail, they talk to the people that are calling you. But then later, you're not going to check because you're not used to this thing. So people need to learn more about this. And then about this one, what about the people that are actually doing the job? The human touch and everything. That's where integration now comes in. Remember, such things like, for example, being a call center person. Obviously, you're going to be doing that kind of a job, right? It's the courses that were done before. The call center course, I'm not sure, but I believe it's still there, though now they're doing things differently. So hence you need to also upgrade your course. If you're a professional call center person, upgrade your profession, upgrade it. Maybe right now they're taking their voices and they make those voices the actual people that are talking to this as like the AI, because there is a voice. Isn't it? There is a voice. Maybe that's what they're doing. So I feel like people need to understand that they need to upgrade their professions, regardless of what profession that you're doing. Hence, I said there's no human touch that is going to lose jobs as long as you upgrade, as long as you integrate your profession with the new media.
So basically, it's not necessarily the fact that there's a problem with artificial intelligence. I guess the main thing is that, I guess to some extent, artificial intelligence now forces you to improve. So it's kind of that thing of where you either adapt or you die, you know? And I think that obviously artificial intelligence is going to obviously now make these repetitive tasks that I guess are less valuable now die out.
Yeah. You know, there's a saying that says we are within. You know about that saying, right? We are within. It's very popular. So basically, we are within. That means we are moving with the times. Most people don't really understand why this saying is so popular, but it's popular because they are pushing people to move with the times. Don't be stagnant and say, hey, nah, I've been doing this. Hey, I know this. No, move. We are evolving each and every day. So you also need to move and be within all time.
I guess it's the same thing as, for example, social media and newspapers, for example. Like back in the day, before like the 2000s, before social media even blew up, it used to be a point where advertising was only done on the news or on the newspaper. Whereas like now things have actually switched to where no one really ever reads the newspaper or watches the news like that, but most people are on social media. So now the highest core, high value way of advertising is now using social media. So it's kind of that thing of like, now, if you're a company that existed before social media and you're like, no, I'm not gonna advertise using Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, I'm just gonna keep using newspapers and the news, you're gonna end up being irrelevant, like you say, because you're not gonna move with the time.
You're not gonna be with it.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's the thing. It's very revolutionary. Things keep on changing each and every day. That's why you're saying AI is pushing us to improve each and every day. And if you can take a close look, that's one of the things that is keeping us alive.
It's a death.
Yes. It's evolution. So that's how it goes. And then now, the other thing I mentioned, studying. So e-learning, how it works is you can study from home, you can study from wherever, basically, and you have tons of options. You know, maybe you can study with pre-recorded videos, which means you control your schedule, how you're going to be studying. You're going to study at your own time, but obviously you have to pace yourself.
I'd even say that that's, for me personally as a person, that's the best form of learning in my opinion. I've noticed that I learn more from said pre-recorded videos that I can always reference to than, for example, being in the lecture. Because, for example, now when you're in lecture at school, it's kind of that thing of you don't want to keep asking the lecturer the same question over and over, even though you're still stuck on it. Whereas on a pre-recorded video, you can just rewind multiple times that exact same part that you want to see.
You know, I'm
which
that
makes it
girl.
much easier.
I'm that girl who will be asking. But I'm that girl. I love direct. But like I said, AI is pushing us, is assisting us to move with the time. So I have adjusted. So that's the first option. The second option is you can integrate the two, do direct with the lecture and with the pre-recorded. So there's tons of options. Some of them, they're not even videos, but they're giving you like study material. There's student portals whereby you get your study material and you study and then you get your certificate. What I just don't like about this is if they're not giving you a deadline that you must be done by this time, chances are you're just going to keep on procrastinating.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe that's where self-discipline comes in.
Yes.
I think that's when you just have to be disciplined about the things that you're doing.
So yeah, those are the options that you can do. That's when you get to be productive when coming to using the new technologies.
Oh, and before we jump on, I think the beautiful thing as well about e-learning and watching pre-recorded videos and learning from lectures online is the fact that it kind of helps individuals who come from middle class and poorer backgrounds. Because like our richer counterparts, they have access to about the best information in the world. They have access to the best lectures in the world. So now, when it comes to e-learning, that in a way gives us the middle class and people who are from less fortunate backgrounds an opportunity to actually learn from the same individuals just for free, even just by simply clicking and watching a YouTube video. But now let's skip the e-learning part and let's jump into how social media can also sometimes cause people to gain misinformation about certain topics. What experiences do you have of where you've encountered some misinformation on the internet?
Okay, so now the thing about now social media is everyone thinks they are journalists. People are just writing things on social media without making proper researches. Some, they don't even do the researches. People are sharing information. There's cyberbullying happening on the socials. It's a lot, Ethan. It's a lot. Though, with all that, I've learned that why people are doing that, they're fighting for what? The numbers, to be popular. And the fact that social media lately is paying people, so they feel like they're at work.
Exactly. Social media pays people basically based on views, not on likes. So even if you release the video that's completely terrible, as long as it gets a bunch of views, then people are still going to like what it's saying.
So people are fighting for numbers now because they want to be paid. Number one. Number two, the information that they're sharing, they're not making proper research, like I said. And you just mentioned right now, it doesn't matter what kind of a video it has been shared, as long as it's going viral. People don't give it that.
And don't you think that's mainly because of the fact that people crave validation? Like some people maybe may use those views and those numbers as like some type of attention that they can use to fill up their own self-esteem. Because, for example, maybe some people may not get attention at home or they may not have any friends. So then they resort to, let's say, spreading misinformation online or just saying outrageous things just to get some type of attention so that they could just feel like at least people can acknowledge me, like people see me. Because I was even learning from a psychologist the other day. We explained how like humans actually hate being ignored more than being given bad attention, funny enough. Like it's better for someone to feel they claim that people feel better when they're hated than when they're ignored. Because when you're hated, at least people are saying something about you and acknowledging you. Whereas when you're ignored, it's like you don't even exist.
Talking about that, I was about to also mention something about anger. Have you realized that anger serves more than any other thing lately on social media? When you're coming in and you're angry, because people just want rau. People just want drama. So drama sells. So they do such kind of content so that they can get the numbers. Intentionally. So gore, just for the numbers, just for being validated, like you were saying, just for people to look at them, just for people to like. But what happens now to who you are? People don't give a damn anymore about their reputation. People don't give a damn about what profile are they building for themselves. Because remember, whatever you post online, it's going to stay there forever. Even if you can come tomorrow and delete it, I have downloaded it already.
And I think one thing that also is a huge flaw of social media is when people like making big generalizations, and I think it touched on what you said about anger selling, to whereas people maybe make statements like, no, all white people are racist or all men are terrible, or they'll even make other statements like, let's say a white person will say that black people ruined South Africa, things were better off during apartheid, like things like that, to whereas it caters to those minds of the people who are angry. And the crazy part is, again, they get that attention, validation, and even monetization because of the fact that, like we said, you don't get money from the likes or dislikes, you get money from the views, which is, I think, another flaw of social media.
The thing about now social media is the fact that we were used to celebrities making publicity stunts. In this day and age, it's no longer about celebrities.
Anyone can do it.
Ordinary people are doing publicity stunts. I've seen a story that is trending right now. It's a fight, guess against who and who? A father and a daughter.
Physical fight?
No, obviously text. Text, not directly
text.
to each other. I feel like they have orchestrated it. That's me looking at my view as they have orchestrated it because yes, it looks scripted because now with whatever that the daughter has published saying nasty things about the father, you are a womanizer, what. There's a nice picture of that father still posing there because now what is a nice picture doing with this messed up text together? You get my point? When I take a look again now, I see, okay, this father is owning a business that needs what? People to see. That needs what? Publicity. And I'm like, no. Basically, this daughter is assisting the father to get
maybe to try and get some attention towards the business.
So it's not only about celebrities that are doing publicity stunts. The saddest part is the fact that other people don't know. They don't notice it. Then they keep on entertaining and entertaining.
Exactly, that's the problem. Like they'll think that a lot of the troubles that they see on the internet are actually real, when in reality they're just publicity stunts for people to get followers.
And to get comments. You know, sometimes, you know what they do? They'll be like, hey, you know what? I've been thinking of doing content, but they're doing content. It's a video. I've been thinking of doing content because, you know what? I've seen content creators are getting paid, but it is a content. It's a video already. And then people will come in numbers and comment and comment. And I'm like, the strategies are working.
Exactly. And like those comments, again, drive up the engagement and increase the amount of views.
You see, so if you really don't understand how social media, how the online media works, then you can never really crack it. But I would say rather learn, control yourself and be disciplined on when and how you use it. You go in, you come out. That's it. Because there's no way that you can be scrolling on your phone and you won't be coming across attempting stories like the ones that we were talking about right now, and you're not going to give them attention, you know? So you need to be disciplined enough to know what is it that I'm going there for. And after you get it, if you don't get it, come out.
Yeah, I think it's like David Kufa said to us, you need to remember the digital diet, to know that whenever you see a certain video that doesn't align with the things that you want to consume, just scroll. Don't watch it before you get angry or pissed off at someone you don't even know. That's the crazy part. Sometimes you just need to scroll.
Sometimes they are too appetizing, this thing. It's one look and you're like, eh. It's like one look and you're like, I want to see how is this going to end up? You know, but it happens. It won't happen overnight. It happens with time. So you just need to keep on practicing and practicing and practice until you get deeper.
And I think maybe one of the tips that people can use to be productive when using social media again is setting limiters on the apps. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but TikTok within the settings section, they actually have a limiter to where like the app will actually like remind you that, okay, you surpassed your daily limit that you've set for using social media.
Look how smart it is.
Exactly. But then again, you're also someone who uses social media pretty productive compared to the average person. So what tips do you have for them to be productive when using social media?
Okay, number one, you need to know what is it that you're going to social media for. Okay, let me take it back. You need to choose a specific social media that you are going to entertain. There is tons of them.
So niches.
Not really niches, but sometimes remember, it's not about you getting people, it's about you getting information. So you need to know where is the information that you need to get. That's me talking as an ordinary person. But again, as a business person, then I'm going to know where my people are. I'm going to have to know where are my people. Then you select out of this multiple social medias and go like, okay, this is the social media that I'm going to keep on going to for specific information. Like I mentioned, as an ordinary person, maybe an information about your profession is there. There's a Facebook page about that profession and you're learning a lot out of it. Then you go to social media, you go directly to that page. You don't scroll. You go direct. Even if when you're liking it, and then you get to do the settings that when something is happening there, let Facebook alert you. That's even better because now you will know when there's something new and then you go directly to that. But again, me as a business person now perspective, I go to social media, a specific one, Facebook, let's say, and then I want to check maybe, I have to know, I want to check whether what are my competitors doing? What is it that is new that they have introduced? Number two, I want to check also my followers, responding to the comments, seeing how my posts are going, checking the analytics of my socials, And then number three is you need to time yourself. That's the final one. You need to time yourself that I am going there for this so much time. Then after I get what I want, or even if I don't get it, I must be out and do something else. So it's about scheduling and being disciplined. So remember earlier on I said it's not what, but how.
I'd say it's both. I'd say it's about, like you said, you need to go on social media knowing what you're looking for and how long you're going to be there. So I think it's both two ways.
No, what I mean is what you are doing, which means you are going to social media, but how are you going to work with that social media? Yes, that's how it works.
Thank you for an amazing episode.